right, welcome to Scottsdale on the Rocks. We got the two boys here. There was four, but we have Katastro, half of the band with us today. To my right, we have the guitarist, Mr. Riccio himself.
Hello.
Tanner, we call him. And then Stravers plays the drums over here.
How we feeling?
Hey, Stravers, welcome. We recorded this ourselves. And then, of course, Jerome's up in the office.
Yep. All right.
Hey, where's Ryan right away? Where is
that intro was insane, bro. That was so good.
I'm getting
It's got to hype you up, you know? That's what
we had this one guy on here, and I was like, I'll introduce him, and then Jerome had to go edit. I'm really bad at introducing people.
I thought it was great.
Oh, thank you.
That was one of the best introductions we've ever had as a band in general, I think.
Stop.
Oh, hell yeah.
You're being too nice.
No, it was fire.
All right, good. Thank you. You're really nice. Okay, tell me what's going on, guys. What's new? Let's start with Stravers. Stravers,
How we doing, man?
I miss you, man. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah. When's the last time we saw each other?
I think you guys were doing some content at Derek's house for
Yes.
your new album.
Yep. We were shooting some interview stuff in Derek's backyard because we thought to ourselves, who's got a nice backyard that we know?
Hey,
Yeah, he has
it's
a great
so
one.
funny how Derek's backyards are always just right on. Because his last house, you guys used his backyard too.
We use it a lot. Yeah.
We've used a lot of Derek's belongings over the years.
No one's asking
just his
Jerome for his
backyards.
backyard.
Well, it's still in the progress. It's still in progress. Relax.
Hey, the pool looks nice, man.
All right, man.
It's got potential. It's almost there.
Hey, it's better than yours. What are you talking about? I got more potential than yours.
Mine?
Yes.
What? My pool's gray. It's blue.
Oh, my God. It's also the size of this little corner.
Yeah, but it's blue. You can get in it. What else is okay? So wait, for those of you who don't know, we do have Katastro here today. These guys are going to launch their new album until the end of time, October 4th. That's in like 8 days. We've been waiting for this for it's been over 2 years since Andy passed. For those of you who don't know, there was Andy, the frontman, the lead singer for the band, my really, really good friend. Jerome, you were good friends with Andy too, weren't you?
Yep.
Was he over here a lot? I feel like he was.
I saw him all the time.
Did he ever come over here? I can't remember.
Here?
Yeah.
No, not to this house.
No, he never
I don't
did.
believe
Okay. All right, yeah. But Jerome and I have been good friends for a long time, and so if Andy wasn't singing with the band, he was probably out partying with me, or maybe he's home passed out. One of those three places. Oh, every once in a while he made it into the studio.
Every once in a while.
If
I
not,
would get texts from one of these guys. Yeah, we're here practicing. Andy's not here.
Yeah, we always knew that if Andy was with you, that he most likely wasn't going to make it to band practice.
Right?
You're welcome.
thanks, man. Thanks for all those years.
Anytime.
You were the one messing it up, Joel.
Yeah, no, I was part of the. I don't know. What did Andy call me? I was the ground team. He'd be like, "Oh, you're the ground team." I'm like, what's the ground team? He's like, you got to be out here telling everyone about us. And I was like, okay. And I would be like, he'd go, "Are you going to come to the concert this time?" And I was like, yeah. He goes, "You have to. You're part of the ground team."
You were like the Scottsdale street team that
that's what it was.
Would let everyone know in the Dale,
Dale.
when Katastro had the shows.
Now you guys started. You're from Chandler.
I mean Tempe. We kind of grew
Tempe.
up.
The band started in Tempe in my garage.
Okay, so
in my
Katastro
garage.
would be considered started in Tempe.
Tempe, yeah, because
So your
we
biggest.
all
That's
went
the home base.
Yep. We all went to Corona del Sol together. So
All
that's
four of you.
where I met. That's where I met Tanner for the first time.
Well, Ryan went to Hamilton,
Oh, okay.
so he's a Chandler guy.
All right. How did Ryan get wrapped into it?
Well, when the band first started, Andy had the idea that he wanted to start a band, so he called me and he got Tanner involved. And first, Tanner and Andy went over to hang out with Ryan and Krebs, or Kenny and Krebs. They went to they were the two original band members. So when Katastro first started, it was me, Tanner, Andy, and Ryan, Krebs, and Kenny Carnivale.
There were 6 of you.
Well,
No, Ryan wasn't in the band.
This is a
when we
different
started.
Ryan.
Got it.
Sorry, different Ryan.
Different
yeah.
Ryan.
So the first year of the band, those two guys were in the band, and then they decided to grow up and go to college. They probably made a pretty good choice.
Yeah.
And then
They haven't had as nearly as good.
no,
as
I'm
you guys.
kidding. I'm kidding. They still regret it, dude. They text
I
us.
was like,
They
what
text
do
us. They've been texting us
You guys
every.
regret it.
They've been texting us every day for like 15 years, trying to get back in the band.
Really?
No.
Are we good now? Can we get back in now?
So, anyways, yeah, they moved on. They dipped out, and then we needed a bass player. So I think Andy was telling his dad that one day, and Andy and Ryan grew up in church together. So they had actually known each other since like birth. Right. So, Ryan's dad approached him one day and was like, "Hey, this band that kind of sounds like Limp Bizkit needs a bass player."
Who's dad?
That's Ryan Weddle's dad said that to him.
Oh, really?
I think, was it Limp Bizkit? Or
It was Limp Bizkit.
it was Limp
that's
Bizkit. And
funny.
Ryan was like, "For sure, I'm trying out."
What would you?
So Ryan pulls up to my house and he tries out, and he like obviously is a fire bass player. So right when he started playing bass, we're like, "Sure."
Yeah, let's go.
all right. Well, since we're talking about Ryan, where is he right now?
Tanner, do you want to let him know where Ryan is right now? Why Ryan couldn't make it to the
Because we
podcast?
really wanted him to be
Well,
here.
we could really probably ask the doctor.
Oh God.
It's
What
serious.
does Ryan have?
Something with his deodorant caused like a rash that turned into a
Oh
fungus.
my God.
Dude.
Damn.
Yeah.
What deodorant is he using?
Let's just say Ryan has a pit disease, and
Oh
he actually
my
might be
God.
contagious. So
Walking
honestly,
around like this.
honestly, bro, you didn't even want him in your living
Yeah.
room.
No, because we do this here. You know, we don't want.
We got some sanitizing wipes, you know.
You'd have
Yeah.
to disinfect this whole couch.
You guys haven't been around him, have you?
Yeah, so Ryan's at. So I guess
We were masked up. Don't worry.
Put their full uniforms on.
so. Yeah, I guess he's he's at a fungus doctor right now trying to figure out what
That's
the deal is.
hilarious. Thank you. I needed to know why
Yeah.
exactly he wasn't here. Now we know.
Everyone send Ryan's thoughts and prayers. man.
And we could put the photo up too right
of
now.
your
too.
of his
The photo
armpits.
up.
If you
Yeah.
can get us a photo.
the
of his
armpit.
Yeah,
armpits.
we'll try and get you a photo.
know.
We'll see.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So now we know how the band started.
So what was like? Did you guys have like a song in mind, or like were you guys like doing covers at the time? Like what like how did it start?
No, dude. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you remember about it? The band starting.
I mean, we all kind of connected because we all liked the Red Hot Chili Peppers a lot, and I think that's kind of how we formed our sound. But I think right off the bat, we just started making our own music, really. And
Well, I remember the first band, the first time you guys came over to my house, and so the first time you guys came over, you and Andy and Kenny and Krebs came over, or sorry, Krebs and yeah, and we wrote our first song, and it's called Sunrise, and it's on our first album. So like the first time we ever even all 4 or 5 of us got into a room together, we wrote a song, a full song,
That's awesome.
and
How did you learn to do that? Did you YouTube how to write a song?
No, well, we all had backgrounds playing music. So and the first time we all got in a room together, we were 17.
Okay.
I started playing drums when I was 13, and by 14, I was already starting my own bands in high school. And my dad was super rad. He built an extra garage in my backyard when I was like 13, and inside of that garage there was like a storage room, and he put an air conditioner in it, and he's like, he surprised me one day. I was like, this is gonna be your band room where like you play the drums. He's probably like, get him the fuck out of the house with the drum set,
Yeah, you gotta put it in the garage.
So it was a detached garage.
Put
from
him in
the
a
backyard.
detached garage in a room inside.
He's smart.
of it.
He's smart.
Dude, super smart. But like that's literally when I started getting my chops on drums, and my parents were really rad about like always wanting to push like taking music lessons. My mom thought it was really important to like that we learn music as kids, because
So that's how you learn some structure and how to write these songs.
Yeah, well, at least as a drummer for me early on, like I got good really fast because I could come home and play the drums for 6 hours after school every single day. And so I started my own bands when I was like 14, 15. All through high school, I had my own bands, and we'd practice at my house. And so when Andy hit me up with the idea of wanting to start a band, him and Tanner and the other guys came over, and that first day, like Andy had a background in writing his own raps and writing his own songs. So it was really just kind of a culmination of all of us previously learning our own instruments. When did you start playing guitar?
13, kind of the same.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
Do you think?
go ahead.
Sorry, Andy was doing raps. That during that time period, that's the 90s or early 2000s.
Well, this was
Early 2000s, right?
2004 probably, because we all graduated in 2008. So 2004 was the first time I actually became like friends and got to know Andy. We shared biology class together. We were like 14, and he would come into class and he'd ask me to borrow my iPod because I had all of Eminem's discography on it. And dude, I remember him getting kicked out of class. Like he would grab my iPod. He'd be wearing like sweatpants. He'd be full on dressed like he thinks he's Eminem. And he would like, dude, this is not a joke. Like we'd be taking a test and he would just like stand up and start rapping out loud. Like, and our teacher, Mr. Pond, would flip out and kick him out of class. And he was just like, dude.
Sounds like something Andy would do.
No, like he literally was like, he knew he was a rock star like while he was in high school. And so he was putting out his own rap albums. What was the first rap album called?
Ooh, I think it was just self-titled, wasn't it?
This is when you burn your own CDs.
What was it called? It was just called
I
Andy
think it was
J.
just Andy
and
J.
the cover, have you seen it?
I think I've seen it.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I have it. I have the whole album in a Dropbox link.
His first one?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
it's called Andy J, and the cover is him sitting at a high school desk with his hat on.
Yes.
And
Love
like,
that.
And his hood up.
and it's just like him obsessed with Eminem and kind of like, yeah, just figuring out his own raps. And but they were good. Like his cadence was fire. And I remember being in biology with him and being like, who is this kid? Like he's like passing his own CDs out in school. He was opening for KRS-One and like getting like decent opening slots for like hip hop groups or artists that were coming through Arizona.
Okay.
At a young age, and he wanted to start a band and he hit us up to do that. So
That's sick.
yeah.
Hell yeah. So like the first time you guys played together, how was that? Like, what was that like? Or when you wrote that first song,
Well, what do you remember?
was it kind of a cluster? Or was it like,
I mean, I can't say I remember that day as much as you do, I
It's
guess.
so weird
but
that I remember that day so much.
You remember
But
the day.
I really do, yeah, because I was in another band at the time that with my buddy Calvin, and we were like a 2-piece band. It was like math rock, like hard.
I was gonna say,
like
how does that work?
thrashy
You're
music.
playing the drums and he's just singing?
Yeah, he was singing and playing guitar, and I was playing the drums. And at that point, we're 17, but I was really serious about that project. And me and Calvin had this whole plan of like, yeah, we're gonna just do this, and this is like that was the thing I was serious about at the time. But
yeah.
I remember when I had that first session and Tanner and Andy came over. I remember the session ending, everybody leaving my house and being like, that was so fun. Like it just felt so like.
That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Dude, it felt like we were
chemistry.
Yeah. It was like a real thing, and it was just super fun. And I just remember feeling like I really want to do that again. And then we had this really bizarre situation happen when we were like, this was like right after we graduated high school, or near the end of our senior year of high school. This like A&R guy approached us that apparently had like ties with like Sony or something. And anyways, we had to like make this decision to go like play some shows or something, and I had to cancel something that was with my other band. And I made that decision that year that like I'm just gonna do Katastro, and like I'm gonna put all my cards into doing this.
So when you guys first started, did you go seek help as far as management, or did you just do everything together, the four of you, solo for a year or so, or how did you figure out how to get these tours put together?
we went through a couple managers and people helping us out. And then
So
eventually,
who's your first manager?
You can answer this one.
I don't. I mean, I remember who they were, but I don't remember the first one.
Dang, he doesn't remember.
You don't remember?
It's too much.
Okay, well,
smoke
no,
too much weed, man.
All right, me too. I'm with you on that.
no. Our first manager was Zach Yoshioka.
Oh, that's right.
I wouldn't have remembered that name.
Yeah,
He's more in like the metal kind of scene, or like
Okay.
kind of like when SRH was big. It was a lot of those kind of bands.
What's SRH?
SRH.
Stoners wreaking havoc, dude.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Joel.
So what would you guys classify your music as?
Well, I'll tell you online, it classifies it as
SRH.
or SRH.
As what?
It classifies it as reggae, what?
Alternative.
Alternative, and then there's a third thing. It like has a //
Hip hop, probably.
Yeah, hip hop.
I feel like it could be in so many categories, It could-
Yeah, that's always a hard question. I feel like
yeah.
always to answer.
But I do
mean,
feel like you have a huge reggae following.
yeah. I
'Cause,
mean,
there's some like really big reggae bands that you guys open for.
Yeah, so I mean, the first couple managers we had, we had different people helping us out in the first couple years. But even looking back on it now, Gonzo, our current manager, he's been managing us now for over a decade, and the reason we ever got shows in the beginning. Like the second show we ever played, I think so. The first show we ever played was at a church with this band called The Main, and they're from here, and they're actually featured on our new album. And but the second show we ever played was opening for Dirty Heads at the Clubhouse in Tempe, and Gonzo, our current manager, was a promoter at the time, and we somehow got linked with him, and he put us on that show, and we brought like 100 kids from high school, because we just told all our friends from high school, and everyone showed up like, oh, everyone's probably like, I want to go see Andy's new band. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And well, Andy and Tanner in high school were kind of a part of more of the like popular crew, like the kids that were, you know, getting into trouble on the weekends. And
well, and the best part about that is it made us look really good, because they would all leave right after we finished playing, even if we were the opener.
Yeah, so Gonzo probably like gave these kids a chance.
That's good stuff. Yeah.
So
all right, everybody leave. You're here for us, not the other.
For sure. And Gonzo was probably like, what the hell? Like these kids, these Katastro kids show up. I've never heard of them. Like no one knows who they are. They're a brand new band, but they were bringing like 100 kids a show. And so we kept doing that. And the more he would give us shows, we'd sell all the tickets. And he really taught us at a young age to like hustle and sell all the tickets. And then we'd started, you know, it went from like opening up for the Dirty Heads at the Clubhouse in front of a couple hundred people to then getting offered shows. Like when we were 19, we opened for Method Man and Redman at the Marquee.
Nice.
We got opening slots for, like 311 and, you know, all these big opening slots for national acts. And then that helped us cultivate and build our fan base in Arizona. And then that spread to like finally getting shows out of state, and then getting on our first tour in 2010, which was like 2 years after high school. We got our first national tour opening for this band called Tomorrow's Bad Seeds.
Where was that?
We went, where did we go?
Give us some spots.
We went to like Minneapolis. I think the furthest.
Didn't it start in Minneapolis?
I think it did. Yes.
It started in Minneapolis, so we had to drive from here to Minneapolis just to start the tour.
Mm-hmm.
That right there was
rough.
Is a logistical nightmare.
Yeah.
We didn't care though. We were just like so excited to.
Yeah.
My all of our parents, so my grandpa and Andy's dad, I think Ryan's dad, maybe your mom, all chipped in like $500 to $1,000, I think, and we got our first van for $3,000, and it was this piece of shit brown van.
I've seen it, yeah.
but dude, it had a TV, like an old, like tiny little screen TV that would flip down from the ceiling.
Oh hell yeah!
Winning.
And so we'd sit in our van and we would watch Chili Peppers live at Slane Castle before we went on stage.
Well,
have you seen that video?
No.
It's so sick. It was a DVD, like a live DVD.
Live at Slane Castle. They're in like Ireland or something. But we also had an N64 set up in there.
Okay, that's tight.
We did.
Did you play it while you were driving?
Andy probably did.
Okay, that's funny. What are on your tour now? You guys have been on tour what, like 10 years in a row, or 15, or what city would you say has outside of Arizona, outside of the state of Arizona? What city is your most popular, your most well known in?
Probably Denver.
Denver. Okay, yeah. You guys have played at Red Rocks a couple times, right?
Red Rocks, yeah. I mean, we've just opened a lot of shows there, and every major tour we've been on has at least gone through Denver. So
you guys go to Pueblo.
Pueblo too, yeah.
I have friends in Pueblo that love you guys.
Pueblo's great.
One of my buddies from the armies, him and his family live in Pueblo, and he's always like, hey, your friends are here again.
Yeah, we always play Brews Ale House, and we're super close with the owner. He always took care of us. Super fun place to live or play, not live.
Yeah, to go to. I love Denver. Yeah, the whole area. Yeah, I've never been to Pueblo, but yeah.
I remember
it's like Tucson.
The first time I actually had heard you guys, because I was living in Indianapolis for a while, for like 7 years or so, and then I kind of came here, just met a few people, met like Drew Young and a couple of other people in Old Town Scottsdale, and it just so happened that a bunch of people were going to one of your guys' concerts, whatever, never heard about it or anything like that. And I was like, sure, why not? Let's go. And I'd heard you guys for the first time. I was like, God damn, these guys are badass.
That was the cool part about bringing you people, my friends from Scottsdale, to your concerts. Like Jerome, like they'd be like, what?
Yeah, and I even bought a shirt. Like it was awesome. I was like, hell yeah, I had a blast that night. To be honest, he was in Tempe, but yeah, I was thoroughly impressed. And I was like, God damn, like Andy was amazing on stage. Like he put on such a great performance for that kind of venue. I was like, holy shit, man, it was impressive. So I loved it. And
where was that?
It was in Tempe. I can't remember where. It's been
probably Marquee.
Yeah, I think so.
Those were great shows. Marquee was funny because my sister, one time Andy was like, we're doing a show, and my sister, was her birthday, and I have 5 sisters, and like I don't think I'm close to all 5 of them like I'd like to be, but it's tough. There's 5 of them, but my one's older.
You gotta pick.
But I try to just be close to all of them. So like Jerusha is her name, and I was like, her and I kind of grown apart at the time, and I said, well, okay, this is my really good friend Andy. He's in a band, and it's your birthday. Let me take you to this concert. And we'll go backstage. She's never done anything. She's a mother of 2. And so I took Jerusha to the concert. I was like, I promise you, it's chill. That's probably part of why we grew apart, was because, I'm working in this bar industry and everything. So like I could see how, even like you might even say Andy kind of grew apart from his family a little, just in the same way as he's always out with me at the band with you guys or something like that. Kind of the same situation. So I brought her to the concert, and I was like, I swear it's chill. And then some girl like OD'd in the bathroom. Had nothing to do with y'all's concert, okay? For the record. My sister was like, oh my God. And I was like, I swear this never happens. I promise you.
Which it never has.
No, it never happens. I've been to several of them. And it's always like family, and it's very chill. It's like your parents, their parents. I was like, that doesn't happen, Jerusha. It's Tempe. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. And
editing that part out.
No, it's funny.
Sometimes people we don't know somehow make their way back there, and things
so she never talked to me again.
Oh yeah.
No, actually, it's funny. When Andy died, her and I are even closer now, because she actually called me, and she's like, I'm really sorry about your friend dying, and I love you, and we haven't really been that close, and then now we are again. So like we talk regularly. So yeah,
nice.
Andy brought a lot of people together when he passed.
It is pretty wild how how many people have been brought closer together since Andy passed away. Like, I know I specifically have become so much closer with his family. Like,
yeah, me too.
I go and hang out with Selena and Jeff at their house,
Awesome.
Andy's sister and brother-in-law, and like, yeah, it's weird. It's like I almost feel like there's a lot of people where I'm like, how come we didn't hang out all the time when Andy was here?
Yeah.
It like almost like. It's almost like he opened a door for people to get like a little bit closer or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
How was it dealing with that whole situation? Like what's the first thing that popped in your guys' mind when that happened? And like, I could only imagine, because you guys were so close, see each other all the time, and had a band together making music. So that's a whole different level of relationship. Did you guys like kind of depend on each other for help, and how did that go?
I mean, it was definitely probably the worst day of our lives when it happened. I think it took us a few days to get over the numbness and kind of actually feel it. But I mean, we really just depended on each other and talked amongst ourselves and made a lot of decisions. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, he was our best friend. He passed away, but our career also.
Yeah.
We were mourning that as well.
Were you there with him in Newport?
Yeah. We were actually recording this album at the time.
Wow. Had you finished?
No.
Were you close?
No. That was like, we went there for like a week initially.
Yeah. So the last week of Andy's life, we were in Costa Mesa staying at an Airbnb together. So it was just the four of us in the band. And we spent 5 days out there, and we were working in different studios, doing some co-writing sessions with friends, and just working on what we knew was going to be the next album. And we had already written like maybe 5 or 6 ideas, but only a few of those were like ones we knew, like, all right, these are going to be on the album, Yeah. So it was really kind of like, to be honest, we were still in kind of the infancy stages of writing a record and just like trying to find the wave and catch, what that was going to be like.
How many songs ended up at the end of it?
Well, there's 14 songs on the album,
okay,
which is wild because that's actually the longest full-length studio album that Katastro will ever put out. Okay. We've never had an album that's that many songs. So it went from us being afraid we didn't have enough to then like me going through all of my hard drives and finding demos that me and Andy had done together that the band didn't hear yet, or like we didn't even know existed. And we spent the last 2 years going through fucking everything we had. And
would you say that Andy was a part of all 14 of those songs?
He's on every single song.
Okay, so he knew about all 14 of those projects.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He
And then
knew
you
about
guys
every
just kind
song.
of decided that by the end of it, this is what you guys decided. Maybe you wouldn't have if he had still been alive. It might have been 10 songs, but just because of you going through and searching for all that.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many things we had to choose from, but obviously we had a lot more than we knew. But it was still a lot of kind of Frankensteining an album together.
Yeah.
But
That's interesting.
Because most bands, the way it works with a band and like the kind of band that we are, anytime we would go into the studio to make an album, we would finish the music first, and then at the end, Andy would have to finish recording the vocals and finish writing all the vocals. And Andy, he'd usually kind of wait till the last minute to figure out what all the lyrics were going to be, and
Yeah.
But to his defense, like that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
To figure out what you're going to say and how you're going to say it and melodies and all this stuff. So like,
And to his defense, he was always working on it. I can't tell you how many times I've had to sit in a car with him while he just listened.
Even at dinner.
He liked to listen to it in cars. He wouldn't do it in the house.
he did. He loved to write in the car when he was driving in the car.
So even if we weren't driving, we had to go get in the car to listen to it. He'd be like, "Hey, come out, let's go listen to this." I was like, can we just turn it on right here? We always had to do it in a car. But that's cool that you guys ended up with 14 songs. What do you think would be his favorite on the album if you had to? Have you been asked that question?
no, actually.
No. Surprisingly, I don't think anyone's asked us that question, but I feel like he would be blown away that he shares a song with Slug from Atmosphere.
Okay.
Because Slug was one of Andy's biggest influences growing up, and like that one was one where like when we got that feature, like one day, because when you send out features for an album and you're hitting up huge artists, and like we were supposed to go on tour with him. So when Andy died in the car accident, we were supposed to go on tour like 6 weeks later. With Slug and Iration, or with Atmosphere and Iration. And so obviously we canceled the tour, and then like we started digging through our hard drives, we started working on the album, and we realized that there's pockets and missing gaps all over the place where like he didn't finish a second verse, or he didn't finish a chorus on this song or whatever. So like we sent out the beat to Slug, and I think like a few months later, we just one day woke up and like he had emailed me the lyrics and the beat with his vocals on it, and like his acapella, and we were all just like, what? This is insane.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a special guest today.
Derek.
Oh, what up,
Come on,
D?
Derek, get over here,
What's
man.
up, D?
Come
D?
here, man. Come here, Derek.
on.
2 seconds. Get over here. He never wants to get on the pod.
Get on the pod.
Come
Get
here,
on the
man.
pod.
Right here. Come here. Come sit down. Come on, Derek.
We were just talking
Come
about
on.
earlier. We were talking about your
Sit-
backyard being in
better-
a bunch of Katastro's
Right here.
You better sit next to
content.
us.
Oh, yeah.
How we doing, baby? How we
up,
feeling?
yo?
What's up, man?
Here,
How we doing?
What's up, Derek?
Hey, Derek. We were just talking about
We were
you
just talking about your house and how much time we spent making videos and
in your backyards.
Hey, let's go back.
all kinds of stuff.
So, what do you guys make? Music videos and all kinds of stuff there, or what? Or what were you making? Like
Yeah.
content, or
Well, a lot of the time, Andy and I would do kind of like acoustic videos of covers and renditions and stuff, and we would just set up in like Derek's kitchen.
I love
and,
those.
Like, just because it looked nice, and
yeah.
he was nice enough to allow us to do that late at night, and
How long have you guys known Derek?
like sophomores in high school.
Derek's been taking care of Katastro since I would say 2009.
Oh, really?
15 years. Jeez.
Yeah,
Longer than that, maybe.
for sure.
Derek.
Remember the HB days?
HB, yeah. I think I told you guys to move out there, and then it was like game over.
When I first met Derek, he was roommates with Andy. How long were you and Andy roommates? You guys were roommates when I first met you, right?
Yeah,
Oh
I
man,
think so.
that's how me and Andy and Derek kind of met. I don't think I've ever said it on the podcast, but you guys know. But like, we had known each other for a while, just from living around here. They live close by, and then we were kind of friends. You know, you're friends with someone. Like I'm friends with you guys. We're friends, but like we don't like hang out. You guys have your have your Tempe life, you know. But we're neighbors here. So, anyways, we ended up in Mexico, invited by different people completely. We were all in Mexico, me and Andy and Derek. And I was like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "It's my birthday." He's like, "What are you doing here?" It's my birthday. And he's like, "Andy, what are you doing?" And he's like, "It's my birthday." And we're like, "Wait, when are our birthdays?" So we knew they were close. And it turned out that Andy was like March 8th. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then we're both March 6th. And we had no idea for years too. Like we knew each other for at least 3-4 years before this. And then we're like, did we just become best friends? And then the three of us were kind of inseparable after that Cabo trip, like maybe 8 years ago, something like that. But yeah, that's how like me and Andy started hanging out, was from that one Cabo trip. I was like, this guy's nuts. Yeah. And I even then didn't even know that he was such a rock star. Like I really didn't until I went to a few shows. I was like, whoa, this is nuts. Same experience Jerome had.
I think Derek's the one that invited me to the show for the first time, really? I think. Yeah.
Hey, Derek.
So what was so tell us about your experience with Katastro, Derek. Because I felt like you were a promoter for them big time.
I mean, I thought I was part of the band.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I was like, is this guy the GM or something?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We just I moved to California and we all started kind of talking, and I was like, dude, if you guys want to meet all these bands and all these people, I think this is the place to be. And then I think that's when you guys all got a little apartment together, all four of you guys.
Next thing we knew, we were in Huntington Beach sharing bedrooms with each other and shacking up.
And I lived right down the street, so we kind of like all still hung out a little bit. We actually started hanging out more then. Yeah. And then, you guys just started touring, getting on all these, cool bookings and stuff. And that's kind of what like shot you guys off to the next level, I think, which was cool.
Hell yeah.
So for promoting this new album, did you guys bring on any new management, any new promoters, or how does that work?
No, we're still working with the same team that we put out the last record with. Yeah.
All right. So when I say, I guess what I'm asking is like a label.
Hey, let's switch it up. It switches mic because
I don't know the people that pay for the.
Oh, here.
Yeah, because then the cameras will.
I see.
So for this album, it's taken a couple of years to come out, but that was all because of just getting it all nailed down, what you're going to put on it.
Yeah.
What were some of the roadblocks that made it last over 2 years to get to where we're at now, finally?
Well,
besides having to figure out how to write the ones that weren't written.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of. I think it was a combination of a few things. It was we didn't want to rush it, and we didn't want to just like not take our time on it and then have like a massive regret later that like, what, we could have put more time into this. Is the last thing we get to do with Andy,
Yeah.
There was that. We wanted to take our time, and there was no real deadline. Like in the past, anytime we finish an album or have to we have to stay on a timeline because we got a tour coming up, and then we have to do this and we have to do that. But it's like Andy dies, and it's like there is no timeline anymore. It's like we can take all the time we want to finish this album for him and for the fans and for his family and for us. And also, the three of us are like grieving. You guys know you're his best friends too, and it's like all of us are just trying to get through it, man. And like there'd be months where we didn't want to work on the album because like sitting in a room and listening to his voice all day long is like spiritually taxing, bro. It's like you got to do it, and we would continuously go in and rip the Band-Aid off, but sometimes you just needed a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really we started working on it pretty quickly after. I mean, it was only a few months from what I remember.
Dude,
and that's very, very soon given the situation. But I think we used it as more of like a healing process and just needed to do something rather than let our brains take over.
Somehow I saw this on my computer recently, but I opened up a session that I know I saw the date on it in the Finder window on the Mac, that the first time we opened a session after Andy passed was like 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if we actually worked on it, but I remember it was 2 weeks after the accident where me and Tanner and Ryan
were very productive.
Well, we were probably just like, yo, we just got to see what we have. You know what I mean? I remember having this initial fear. Luckily, so when we were writing all these new ideas for what was going to be the next Katastro album, I was running all of the sessions on my computer because I produce and I engineer, so I know how to run a session. And thank God too, because like after everything had happened, me and Tanner and Ryan were able to just like go to the studio and look at what I had. And that was the scariest part, because to me, like right after the accident, was like, damn, bro, like I hope I saved everything right. I hope I didn't lose anything. Like I don't even know how much we have. And then the three of us started looking through everything and started finding things, and it was like, it got to be exciting. And I think throughout that process, it was like, it was healing for us. Cause like, imagine finding, you're finding songs and shit from Andy that like we forgot existed, or that we all, what's funny too, I remember showing you guys the stuff, And like every time we'd find something new, we'd show you guys, and you guys would end up kind of being like, dude, I remember when Andy showed me that one day. You know what I mean? Because like because Andy would always want to show the homies like even unfinished ideas. When he was really amped about something, he'd always like take a video and send it to you guys. And like, so
I remember one of my favorite songs, you guys, I didn't know how John Q was like, it's not even, might not even be called John Q.
John T.
John T. Yeah,
sorry. John Q's a great
I
movie.
I watched that movie.
Great
That's
movie.
why I liked the song, because it always reminded me of that movie. And he played it, and I was like, I got over it because it took like 3 years for you guys to finally release it. And so I like, hey, is it gonna come out next year? Is it gonna come out this year? And it's John T. John T. Bad. I forget how it is.
John
Don't
T.
sleep.
White tea like grease, homie.
Yeah.
John T. Don't sleep, homie.
This guy would come up with these little raps about everything. You know, you're walking around, you're sitting at a table by some girl that has like a big ass or something. You start rapping about that, or some girl that just anything, you know.
Well, I was gonna say earlier, I feel like during the early 2000s when like Eminem was big, not that he's still big, but he was like hot. He was newer, late 90s. So I went to high school. I graduated 2004, but like I'm middle school in the 90s, and then I remember early 2000s, and it was like all the kids in Tucson, everyone was freestyling. Like that was, I don't know if that's still a thing like it was then, but I know for a period there, everyone was freestyling.
Andy was good at freestyling.
Very
sometimes.
good.
Right. And so he would have been,
especially when we were partying. He was really good at freestyling, because I think the combination of, maybe being a little
Personality juice.
a little juiced up, but then also like when it was no different to him, I think, in a social setting as performing, because like a bunch of people have their eyes on him.
He was performing for everybody.
And it would usually just involve him making fun of someone while freestyling and just getting everyone to laugh.
Yeah.
Which is like so funny.
Yeah, this guy was a character.
Yeah.
So how was it? Did you guys, in terms of like pulling out those little gems and stuff from the past and other things, were there moments where you're like, holy shit, like this is gonna be amazing? Like something came up or something, you're like, how did we forget about this? Or
well, earlier you asked what were the biggest roadblocks,
Yeah.
right? I think we were about to talk about that.
Yes.
And it's like, there were plenty of times where we probably would have, if Andy was here, we probably would have given up on the song when it got hard and like we were hitting a wall.
Yeah.
But in this situation, we didn't have that choice. It was like, this is what you have left of him. So what are you going to do?
okay.
Do you know what I mean? So there were
yeah.
some songs that took us 7, 8, 9
figure
sessions
this out.
to just like figure out how we're going to make music to that vocal. You know what I mean? So it's Tanner and Ryan are sitting there with their guitars trying to figure out what chords are going to work over his vocals. And, we're reworking all the drums. We're kind of redoing everything, because it's like, this is the last album. So let's go in.
So when you guys are practicing, you're recording everything?
Well, things have kind of evolved over the years. 'Cause, like when we started the band, we would sit in a room and just jam.
A lot of voice notes on our phones too.
Okay.
All
right, because if you weren't recording everything during practice, then you wouldn't have a lot of the footage you have now.
Wait, are you talking about like video?
So you guys are getting ready for the new album, and Andy's gone now, but you still have his voice to use for this new album. Is that because of time in the studio, or is that?
Yeah. Well,
where did you get all these clips from that you have?
Yeah. So
AI. Just kidding.
no, like I think like probably like 6 or 7 years ago when we did the album Washed. That was when I started learning how to engineer, because our producer that we've been working with for like over a decade, Matt Keller, shout Matt, he's the homie.
Shout out, Matt.
He's one of our best friends, and he also helped us a lot on this new album as well. But he started training me as like an engineer and like teaching me everything he knew essentially on like how to record vocals and like, you know what I mean? So fast forward years later, it kind of transformed how we wrote as a band, because instead of like just sitting in a room blaring our instruments, we kind of started plugging in and like recording as we're creating stuff.
Okay.
So at our studio in Tempe, we have a good vocal mic and a good setup, and Matt trained me over the years on like how to get the vocals to sound dope to where Andy would be excited. And it kind of became this game, because it was like I was trying to get Andy to come to the studio more. Even like months leading up to his death, like me and him had this agreement that he was going to come in on Saturdays instead of going out to party. And he was like, dude, I'm down. If like we can record vocals and I can record at the studio, like I won't go out. And so I was trying to get him to like not party as much, because like shit with the band would get difficult if he was doing that. And so,
You guys needed him fresh when he showed up.
yeah. So like, the song Until the End of Time on the new album,
That's the first song.
that's this middle of the album,
Okay.
that song. And there's a
The
couple
first song is the one with Andy's dad.
yeah, our favorite song.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
number
Yeah.
one.
So that song and the title track of the album Until the End of Time, which I think is track number 7. Those 2 songs were made literally like 2 or 3 months before Andy passed.
Okay.
On one of those Saturday sessions where he just came to the studio and we were just messing around. Honestly, it wasn't like, hey, this is gonna be a Katastro song or this is gonna be whatever. It was just like me trying to get him to not, to just come to the studio.
He was really locked in there at the end, right?
Dude, Andy loved being in the studio, bro. Like we'd finish an album and then like a week later he'd be like, dude, let's go back in the studio. And we're like, dude, we got to go on tour and like promote this new album that just came out. So.
For the new album, Nick, who are some of the names that are going to be on the new album besides Jim Chavez and and Atmosphere? Who else?
We've got Rome.
Okay.
We've got
Rome
Logan
from Sublime.
Yeah, Logan from Article Sound System. We've got
Jared and Duddy from
Jared
Dirty
and
Heads.
Duddy.
Okay.
Common Kings.
Common Kings, Iration,
Mouse Powell.
Mouse Powell.
We've got The Main on the album.
Yep.
What an album.
And Mike.
Yeah.
Mike too.
Mike's on there too.
Mike.
Just Mike.
Yep,
Yeah.
just
Very
Mike
cool.
is on there too. And dude, he's the homie, bro. He texted me. I was texting with him a couple weeks ago, and I just sent him a thank you. I was like, dude, thank you because his verse on the album is really heartfelt. It's
Oh,
like
that's great.
it's
Man.
really beautiful, man.
Bring
And
back some memories there. Just going to his house with Andy and then watching those two just spit all night, and then Derek get on there, and hell, I might even jump in there. Like it was a good time. Mike's
so
great.
it's special, man. I think there's just a lot of so much love that went into the album, and all the people that featured on it knew why they were being asked to be on the album. So you can kind of hear that in their parts on the album, and I don't know, we've never worked this hard and long on anything in the band's career, really.
Well, and to tag on what Stravers was saying about how he recorded everything, a lot of these takes that Andy has, it's his first take,
Yeah.
And some of it's even like gibberish that we had to like, but it sounded so cool that we were like, we're just going to keep this because it sounds great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Another wild thing for me to see is like, we've been able to work with, the biggest bands in our scene essentially that have featured on this album and sit with them in the studio and see how they work. And to me, that has highlighted even more how dope Andy was and how like insanely talented he was, and how like, I don't know, man, like I don't think he knew like how sick he was. Because he always
think he
wanted
did.
this outside validation, but
he
like,
did know, but like I don't know that he
no,
did.
I know what you're saying. He
Yeah.
did know, but then there was a part of him that didn't. And sometimes, you know what I'm talking about. You'd want to shake him and be like, "Dude, just stop! Like you're dope. Just chill." and this album, like hearing him, alongside all these other people that have huge fan bases, is like, it's just cool. I hope when people hear it, they're like, "Damn." They maybe find or like hear like a new level of respect for like him as an artist,
Yeah, when he passed, it crushed a lot of us as friends, but across the music industry, it just goes to show in the album how many people like were affected by it, like and like were like this. It crushed a lot of us. But I went to a random concert. I didn't even know they were going to do this. I think you might have been there. I was at like a Revolution concert. And I looked up and maybe Iration was getting off or something. And someone was like doing a tribute to Andy. I think someone got up there, and it's just, I see it all over people posting about him from different bands and whatnot. So, and it's obviously going to be obvious on the album. So when you go, are you going to do a tour for this, or are you just going to do the one concert? We don't know.
It's kind
of depend on
honestly,
how the
I
concert goes.
I don't really know.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't really know. I mean, to be completely honest, man, we have no idea what.
Okay.
We don't really know what the future.
But we
is
know we
gonna-
have a concert coming up.
is going to look like. Yeah, the only thing we do know right now is that like, the new album drops in 8 or 9 days, and
And then you have the concert.
and then we have October 25th and 26th. We're doing 2 nights in a row at the Marquee to celebrate the release of the album. And I mean, I think the three of us are just focused on like, yo, we did this impossible task, which was to finish this album.
Yeah.
And like,
thank you.
This
for
is
doing that.
for Andy. It's for the fans, and it's, you know, like it really was just for us three at first over the past 2 years just to get through it. And now it's like finally
We all needed it.
gonna be time. And I think it's gonna be tough, dude. Like putting it out on October 4th, I think it's gonna feel insane because to me this album's like a goodbye to Andy.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
I can't wait to wear
For
it
me
out.
it's like, damn, like we're actually gonna put this into the world, and then like that's what we have left of him. So it's kind of like opening the treasure chest and giving it to everybody else. That's the way it's starting to feel right now. And I think like, you know, I like it is hard because we're battling all these other things. Like, fuck, what does the future look like? Like we spent 17 years doing this, and like, what if it's all over, you know? But like, I think even if years down the line, like if Katastro isn't touring anymore, it doesn't mean like we're not a band. Like the band's never broken up. It's just different now, and we don't really know what that's going to look like, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that answers anything,
No,
but
it's where I'm at too. I'm like,
yeah, like I don't want to force anything. Like whatever's supposed to happen should happen, you know? If we're not supposed to tour for a few years, then that's what should happen. If we are, I just don't know how. And
do you know that you're going to be doing music the rest of your life?
I statistically speaking, I feel like I will be.
Okay.
I would like to, and I'm not quite sure what else I would do because I'm really passionate about music.
Yeah, and you're technical, so like you have the skill, and obviously creative. But I'm saying you can still make money off it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
Have you guys experimented with like other like vocalists and stuff in terms of like new stuff that you're working on or anything, or just been focused on this mostly?
Just been focused on this.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, that's the number one question we get is if we're going to get a new singer, and it's
A lot of
obviously
bands do that.
hard for us to even think about something like that.
I could
but
imagine because you guys are so used to Andy and like everything evolved
I
around
can't
that,
even
you know?
think about that. Like that would piss me off.
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Who's this
exactly.
guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
some hard shoes to fill there.
And Andy was,
sure.
you know, and obviously me and Tanner and Ryan dumped our lives into it too. But like Andy was the guy, man.
Yeah.
He was why, you know, people
Well, you gotta have
come
that
to the
face.
show.
he's
It's
the
like-
reason it started in the first place, you know? So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think where our brains are at and can only be right now is this album is to give Andy his flowers, to show the world how dope he was, and show all the respect that for the people, you know, all the guests that are on the record that have donated their time and their love and their energy into it. That helps show that, you know what I mean? It helps
100%.
I think it helps solidify us in any sense in the scene too. And
Yeah, it does.
you
Are there
know,
tickets still available for the October show?
yes.
What
But
days are
it's
those?
close to selling out.
It is. I better hurry.
Yeah.
So a lot of those
I know Gonzo.
so a lot of those clips that you guys digged up, was it mostly just like audio stuff that you had, or was there video and stuff in there, or
We have some video, yeah. Like we have some shit off our phones, and like it's kind of
so
funny.
you pulled
like,
everything together? Like
yeah. I mean, we're trying, you know.
Are you going to be able to make a music video with him? Do you have any footage like that?
I don't think we have anything like that,
Okay.
but like every once in a while, like someone will text the group chat and be like, "Dude, I just found this video," and it's like
nice.
either a funny video from the
Yeah.
past or whatever.
or something we can't
Like
show
Tanner
anybody.
found. Dude,
Yeah, we got
Tanner-
plenty of those.
like 6 months ago or something.
No
Tanner,
Diddy shit.
yeah,
No.
but Tanner did. Dude, Tanner found a couple months ago or something. Tanner sent the funniest video to the group chat, and it was Andy like almost naked in our hotel bathroom, just projectile vomiting all over the wall.
Oh my god.
And it was like, it was probably after a night we all woke up from being out drinking or
my
something.
God.
But it was the funniest video ever. And sometimes like funny stuff like that will resurface where it just makes you
I
miss
don't know
it
how we
more.
would make that into a music video.
We could. I feel like with the editing software you got here that you're talking about, it might be possible.
So the first time, okay, I think one of the first times I met Andy, I didn't know who he was or anything. And anyways, he was coming to, it was at Hi-Fi. I came and bought a table or whatever, right by the DJ booth, and Dustin had brought him. and like Andy's like standing there like dancing in front of the table, whatever, right? And I was like, oh, this guy's cool, whatever. And then he threw up on my table, right? And like all over the ice, like the bottles and everything. And I was like, who the shit? Like, who is this guy? Whatever, right? And Dustin's like, no, he's cool. We'll take care of him. Like we'll figure it out. And I was like, I was kind of pissed in the moment, but then Dustin was like, we'll figure it out. We'll take care of it. And I was like, all right. Then he came and apologized to me. And then I think like the next like 5 or 6 times that I saw Andy, he's apologetic about it, and he's like, "I'm so sorry."
He's
blah,
such
blah.
a genuine
Yeah.
person. Whether
But
you can't, you can say a lot of bad things about him, but one thing you can't. But you could, genuine is one thing you can say about Andy. He's very genuine as far as like apologizing to Jerome. One time he ruined a rug. Remember in Cabo, and his cigarette ruined the rug. And then one time he got paid for a show one time, and he sent Dustin the money back for the rug like 5 years later, but he paid for it. He had a really genuine heart.
He had a gift also. Like he had that special thing that like people couldn't stay mad at him.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so like even if
That's true.
Like as brothers as a band too, we'd get in fights and disagree about shit. And
Yeah, I'd get so mad at him for 24 hours, and the next day he just like comes up and cracks a joke, and then just it's gone.
we would be on. So when
It's hilarious
Andy,
too, yeah.
When Andy would do some dumb shit on tour, we would like wake up the next morning and all be like, "Yo, don't talk to Andy today." And we'd be able to keep that for like a couple hours until he said some funny shit in the van, and everyone starts laughing, and it's over. It's like, all right,
Oh my God, that's funny.
you know what I mean?
I was gonna say, oh man, I had this other shit. It just, what was I gonna tell you? One sec. We can edit out the space. I was gonna tell you.
Dude, you better.
I was trying to find this one video.
Oh man, what did he do to me? Shit, you got me thinking about that. All right, if I think of it, I'll bring it back up.
Yeah.
But I had a good one I was gonna tell you. What was it? Now I got to. I don't know, man. I hate it. Too much weed. But I have a shitload of videos myself. I told Jerome, we should do this podcast, and then we should post some funny videos I have of Andy and me at the end of, or whatever we have. And then he's like, well, we should also ask the band if they have anything they want us to post. If you guys do, shoot it our way. But we're thinking.
Yeah, well, our new music video. So, our new music video dropped this morning, and it was featured by People Magazine. So, People Magazine featured the release of the new music video for our favorite song. Yeah, dude. And
wait, so it dropped today, the new music video?
It dropped this morning. Yeah,
Who's in the music video?
Us three and
I like those red suits.
You like those?
yeah, we
saw it?
we dressed up in some red suits, and we shot it at Celebrity Theater with our good friend Dylan Toon. He's a super talented director here from
He directed
Phoenix.
it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so who sings in it?
Andy.
Okay, so
Andy's not in the video.
He's not in
but
the video,
There's
so
actors.
it's
We have actors in the video too.
All right.
And yeah, it's really cool, man. You should check it out. It's like
Awesome.
Dylan definitely like used his heart on it. It's like a heartfelt video. Turned
All
out
this
really
stuff
sick.
costs money. How do you guys pay for all this without being on tour?
Well, we have spent a shit ton of money on getting this album done. So
I can imagine. Shit.
I mean, it's
so-
the last thing we're doing technically, so it's like we
Just give
we
it
gotta.
Yeah, give it your all.
I
do
would
what we
say
gotta do.
it's a combination of two things. We definitely have spent a lot of money on finishing the album, getting it done the right way, but we've also been given an incredible amount of grace and gifts and like blessings from people around us and people that care about the band. Whether it's, people shooting a music video, doing it for dirt cheap and putting all the budget into just making the video special, or like, Dirty Head's drummer, for example, just like sent me some extra gear that we
You
need
didn't
for
pay
the
for
show.
any of the features.
And like, no, the feature, none of the people that, no one that like feature on the album asked for upfront cash.
Amazing.
And they're getting a cut, what I
Right.
mean, when it eventually comes out and stuff. But like, we've been like when I look at the past in the band's career, like we've been helped out so much that like I don't know, it makes me feel like everything like happened for this weird reason. And
I know what I was going to say. I was talking about Andy being genuine, and then he paid off Dustin's rug. But what would happen was, I don't know what your pay schedule is, but every once in a while Andy would get a check, and he would just go spend it all. We could go through all the different things he spent it on because he would do it all at once. And like one time it was this girl's purse. We're like, why did you buy her that purse?
I remember that situation. This makes me think of something. I remember when we were recording the album Washed, we were at our buddy's cabin up in northern Arizona, and Andy is laying on the couch, and we were taking a break or something, and Andy's like, dude, I'm so broke. He's like complaining about how he's broke. And then Ryan, it was either you or Ryan, like walked behind the couch and like looked over his shoulder, and he was on his phone on Gucci's website buying a $900 ring. You know that ring with the A on it that he had? Yeah, he's buying that. He was buying that, and Ryan's like, God. Or it was either you or Ryan, and you were like, "What? You're a dumbass!" Like, and he's like, "What?" He's like, "What? It's sick. I need this."
I just figured. Well, because of that, I was like, when he died, I was like, you guys, I think he knew he was gonna die because he blew he didn't leave. He used that money.
He really did. Yeah.
He took me out one time. He called me. He goes, "Hey, I want to take you to Toca Madera and buy you some Wagyu. I just got paid. And I live across the street." And I was like, okay. You know me? I was like, all right. So we go in there, and I wasn't going to order Wagyu. He made me order Wagyu. In fact, he did the ordering, and it was ridiculous. And it was like, it's like $100 a piece. And he ordered like 9 pieces. It was an outrageous meal, you guys, just outrageous. He didn't sit at the table the entire time. He was walking around talking to everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, okay, the steak's here. It was just like, no, I wasn't even there to eat it either. So I don't think we even ate the steak, but it was one of those checks. He spent it all on some Wagyu for me.
So funny, bro. Yeah.
I think every time he finished a song or whatever, every time he finished a song, he'd go and buy a bottle of champagne.
Yeah.
Every time.
He was good at celebrating. He was good at celebrating his victories.
He really did. That's what I always
definitely
loved
lived it
about.
up. Yeah.
And I was like, well, no one could say Andy didn't live it up while he was alive.
And it's, it is cool, like looking back over the years, and like the hometown shows were always fun because it was cool to see how much you guys supported him and like gassed him up and would like all show up for the shows. And I don't know.
Me and Derek's biggest regrets was not making it out to Denver for that last one. Him and I were so hard on each other. Like, we were just mad at each other for not making it out there. Even before Andy died, we were pissed about it.
Yeah.
Because something came up. I had to be out of town. I have to survive too. I had to work, and I had to be out of town. I couldn't make it. And I really wanted to make it to that concert. And that was one of the things him and I were like, fuck, we missed that one.
Well, dude, I know Andy loved you guys a lot, man, especially you two. Like that, we all know that as a band. Yeah, he would always talk about you guys, and I just, it's wild, bro. It's so crazy. I think after Andy passing, it's made me, at least once or twice a day, I think to myself, like, damn, I could die at any moment. Like, I could die tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think, he's the closest person that's young to me in my life that like we've just lost, where it's like me and Tanner remember sitting on the couch, like, dude, an hour or two before Andy passed, like we were all in an Airbnb together, just sitting around talking about how dope the future was going to be with the new tours and the new album that we were working on. And me and Tanner remember just watching him like walk out the door and be like, see you tomorrow. Cause he was supposed to meet us in the morning, and like, that's the last time we saw him, bro. And, I mean, I think,
well, if you could take a lesson from it, not that you have to take a lesson from it, like is there any, I guess you just said like it's changed the way you think and some things, like what would you say, you think differently? Just is that the difference you think now is you're like, hey, I could die today? Like that's not something that was really on your mind before?
Yeah, not really, not as much. And I feel like now I'm more worried, not worried, but like more I'm interested in like what my full potential could be as a person, and like I don't want to waste that, and I want to see like what that could become. And like, at least for me, something that I feel like I think a lot about Andy was that Andy had this way and like childlike wonder about him that I think we all want to have. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Where like he just like when he would get excited about something or happy about something, he would light up like a little kid. And like I feel like that part, I want to keep that part of him alive within like the things that I do moving forward. And I think about that all the time. Okay, like how he'd behave when we made a new song. He would just be like, he would act as if like he's a little kid seeing like a tree for the first time. Yeah. Or like Christmas morning. It was just like I think that's why everyone was so like would gravitate towards him. He like had that light that was like,
for sure. He could be in the middle of a fight with a girl that he was with or something. And yet he'd be like over here, like talking to you about something like all energetically. You're like, what the hell, man? Like,
what's wrong with you? Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Don't get us started talking about his girls, Jerome.
Oh my God. Yeah.
His girls.
I didn't want to go there, but I will tell you this real quick. When I was at the funeral, his dad's like, have you met Andy's girlfriend? And I was like, oh, I'd love to meet her. And then, he introduced me to some girl and saying she was his girlfriend, but it was hilarious.
That's so funny, dude. But yeah, man, I don't know.
You
guys think about
so
that?
much hot women at a funeral.
I've never seen so many like memorial posts of like, oh, me and Andy did this or whatever. Like it was like all over, like viral, man. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, dude. What about you guys as Andy's close friends? You know, like since we lost him, in what ways do you think it's changed you?
Man, I'm the same as you. It's been 2 years, and I still use this one because it messes up the cameras.
Okay.
It's been 2 years, and I still haven't processed it, even after 2 years. Like, this is therapy for me, just talking to you guys. But I will say that I was in the Army. I served in war. I've lost friends before, but I've never lost anyone this close, like you were just saying, ever. So it was totally different kind of losing a friend that I had never experienced ever.
Yeah.
And you couldn't be prepared for it at all, to lose a friend that close.
Yeah, it still doesn't feel real, you know. Especially when he lived with me, is like, you know, for so long, so many years. It's like I hung out with him every day.
Yeah.
We go to the gym together. Then he'd go to the studio, and then we get home and, you know, conversate about our whole day. He'd have new music and stuff, and like that was, I don't know. It still doesn't feel real still.
But I will say it's made me a better friend. Because I think
we look at it
from that day, like not just to Derek, but like to people, my friends, and even like I want to make sure, because you just never know when your friend's going to not be there, and so you should be reaching out to them daily. If you know, I understand that's a little ridiculous, but weekly, and it's made me a better friend in my life. Just losing Andy, because one of my biggest. I remember the day I'm like the day it happened. You guys remember seeing him last, but I was in New York. I was remodeling this penthouse in Chelsea by myself. I'd been there for like a few months, and Dustin called me and he's like, "Hey, I think Andy died." Like he said it real, and I was like, "No, shut up." You know, we're always doing something crazy.
Yeah, I didn't believe it.
So I said, "Just who told you that?" And he's like, "He told me someone." I said, "That doesn't sound right. Let me call him." And then that's when I realized that it did happen. And like I said, I don't have regrets, but I have like this lesson that I want to be closer to my friend. I probably hadn't talked to Andy in a week before he died, so it pisses me off, you know, like a little bit. And not that I think I have PTSD and I think everyone around me is going to die, but I do want to like make sure that I'm closer with my friends, and I agree. I think I have been a better friend because of it.
Yeah, dude, we all got together for the anniversary of, what was it, the anniversary of Andy's death, or was it his birthday that we went to your house, Derek, like recently?
That was nice.
Was that Andy's birthday? Yeah, I think that was
birthday.
Is it the birthday?
I think it was his birthday.
Yeah,
it was.
Favorite song.
Yeah, it was his birthday a few months back, and we were in Derek's backyard, and you came up to me and you hugged me, and we both started crying, and you were like, you literally, bro, when you said this, it was like so spot on to like how I feel about what the album represents. But you just said to me, like, this is all we need. We just need to all be together. And it was like, that's all it has been. Like, the easiest it makes it is when everyone's together. And even if we're crying and if we're going through it, it's like when we're all together doing that, it's cool how it's brought everyone closer together.
It really is.
Like him dying literally has like made us all care about each other more, and you know, brought us closer to Andy's family, and in a sense, it maybe even got us to like know him a little bit more, because we've all been able to sit around and talk about what we truly loved about him. You know, it's weird we don't do that while people are alive.
Yeah,
you know, and that's just how human beings are. But like, it does make you wonder, like, what are people gonna say if I die? Like, what? I don't know. And then you're like, oh shit, what do I want people to say when I die? And like, should I start behaving in that way that I want people, you know what I mean? That like, it can really make you think. And I think there's something really good about that, you know?
Yeah, that's a good thing to think about, because it will make you, like you said, you see the potential in your life now and the things you can accomplish moving forward. So this has been great.
This is dope, man.
Love you guys.
I love you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming. It's awesome to just talk about Andy in general. It's great to hear how you guys started, just to hear these memories, and I think people would appreciate it. And you know, Andy knew everyone in Scottsdale, it seemed like. So just kind of getting to hear these things is just amazing and awesome. So I love that you guys built this album from kind of pieced it together, which is super cool. I can't think of any other people that have done that, really, to be honest. So I'm really excited to listen to it. I think it's gonna be great.
We're gonna send you guys a link to listen to it right when this
hell
ends.
yeah.
Look, yeah, I'm driving to Vegas right now.
You want to listen to it?
The whole trip
Have you
would be
not
awesome.
heard the whole thing from front to back
I
yet?
don't have the link. I have to listen to it.
I'll,
Derek's.
we'll send it. Derek, you have the link.
I'll send it to you.
I want to listen to it on my drive to Vegas right now.
Am I allowed to
That'd be
send it
awesome.
to him?
Of course. Of
He's good. He
course.
doesn't ever send it to me.
I'm glad Derek popped into the pod, man.
I know.
It's great.
Surprise.
He will never get
Thanks for
on.
having me.
This is how I got him on.
This is how you got him on.
I
You
could never
guys
get him
are
on.
here.
All right.
Thanks for having us on, man.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you guys.
thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yep,
Later.
that was
Love you
fun.
guys.
Love you guys.
All right.